Of course, we cannot forget about Elwood's, the blueprint of a heartbreak glow up. Elwood's didn't just change her wardrobe, she literally rewired her whole brain to chasing a new reward system, which is by chasing a new challenge, and ends up creating her successful life path. Hello, my name is Nadi and welcome to my very first ever episode of my podcast, Heart and Heart. I'm very interested in learning about biological, psychological, and all of these connections in your body and your brain happening that influence your feelings and how they influence our decisions. And in that way, I am researching and learning to build a better version of myself, and I want to bring you along the way to help you become better versions of yourselves. So let's get started. In this very first episode, I will be talking about how heartbreak can actually create a whole new identity and how you can use it to your advantage to grow yourself and become a better version of yourself. And heartbreak sucks. It feels like someone just unplugged your brain and your whole appetite disappears. You don't want to do anything. You just want to rot in bed, and suddenly your whole Spotify playlist is way too emotional and you're listening to creep song. But what if I told you heartbreak isn't just emotional chaos? It's actually a full body biological event. And if you understand what's actually going on in your body, your brain during this stage, you can use it to glow up mentally, physically, and emotionally. So today we're talking about how heartbreak can literally rewire your brain for growth if you let it. So let's spiral in a good way. So chapter 1, love. So let's start with what's actually going on up there in your brain when you start falling in love. When you're in love, your brain is high on dopamine. It's the same one that fires up when you eat your favorite meal, you win something, or you get 100 on your test. That's why love feels addictive, because your brain literally treats it like a drug. But dopamine doesn't work alone. There's this energy chemical called the neurochemistry. It makes your heart races, you sweat, and suddenly you can't focus on anything except them. Neurochemistry is the energy chemical that releases when your brain is hyper-focusing on something, or you are solving a difficult mathematical problem. When it is looking for a solution, your brain releases this neurochemistry. It's also the same chemical that spikes when you're in danger, which is kind of funny because love feels like danger and safety at the same time. Your brain is basically screaming, this person matters, pay attention. Then comes oxytocin, the bonding hormone. That's the chemical that releases when you hug, cuddle, kiss, or even sending a late night text message like thinking of you. It's a connection in chemical form. And the thing is, the more oxytocin you release with someone, the stronger the bond becomes, which is why love isn't just emotional, it's physiological. Now, let's not forget about serotonin. Serotonin is basically your body's feel-good stabilizer. It's a chemical and neurotransmitter in your brain and your body that releases to help control your mood, your appetite, and to stabilize your overall sense of calm. When you fall in love, your serotonin levels drop, which sounds bad, but that's what makes you think about the person constantly. That's why early stage love feels a little obsessive, because your brain chemistry is mirroring these OCD patterns. It's not that you're crazy, it's that your brain is laser focusing on attachment. And finally, the big one, the endorphins. They're your body's built-in painkillers. Over time, as the dopamine roller coaster slows down, endorphin steps in to create that calm, comfortable sense of safety. That's why long-term relationships feels less like firework and they feel more like warm sunlight. Your brain shifts from excitement to stability. So yeah, when people say love changes you, it's not just emotional, it's physiological. Your brain, your body, your hormones, they all work at the same time to make love feel terrifying, safe, and electric at the same time. You're not imagining it, it's biology's version of magic. Now let's go to chapter 2, breakup. When you break up, both those chemicals crash. Your dopamine drops, oxytocin disappears, and cortisol, your stress hormone, it spikes. That's why your body feels like it's panicking even when nothing's wrong. Your brain's reward system is like, wait, where's my drug? Because love, in a very real way, it's a chemical addiction. You know that feeling when you said you're not gonna text your ex and then you're like, just one message to be civil? That's withdrawal. Your brain is craving dopamine hit, just like it would with sugar or caffeine. Studies using brain scans show that when you break up with someone, it is basically the same as someone who is detoxing from abusing substances. So no, you're not dramatic, your brain is literally glitching. But the good news is every time you resist the urge to check their Instagram, your brain is rewiring to find new pathways. And that's the science behind moving on. Okay, so what to do with all this? How do we turn heartbreak into a glow up? Let's make it biological. First, move your body. Literally move through it. When you work out, you're not just working out, you're flooding your brain with endorphins, the same chemical that your brain releases when you fall in love. It's the softest form of rebellion, turning pain into movement. Every walk, every stretch, every gym session, every Pilates session is your brain saying that I'm still here and I know how to make my own dopamine. I want to quote this from the Tech Talk video about when you're working out, you're not just working for a gorgeous body, but also for a gorgeous mind. Second thing is protect your sleep like it's sacred and heal if your brain's exhausted. And I also struggle with this because I'm a night owl and I don't sleep early at night. I sleep like well into 1 to 2 a.m. at night, and I know it's a bad habit. I need to fix myself too. But you have to get at least 8 hours of sleep every night because the parts of your brain, the hippocampus and the frontal lobe, which function to help with your critical thinking skill and this very important function in your brain, they are very sensitive to stress. When you sleep, your brain clears out stress hormone like cortisol. It rebalances your emotional circuits, your ability to feel joy. Think of sleep as your overnight therapy session. You go to bed in a heartbreak and you wake up with a slightly better nervous system. Third thing is reconnect, but safely. Oxytocin, which is the love hormone, doesn't only come from romance. You can get it from hugging your friend, petting your dog, or doing something you love. Having a good cry with someone who won't put you down or embraces your vulnerability. When you surround yourself with warmth, your brain relearns safety, and that's what heals attachment wounds. Introverted person, I just genuinely enjoy my own company, and I tend to self-isolate when I become sad or when my day is bad, but it's important that you have to surround yourself with warmth. Through my research, I learned that even the rats in rich environments, they learn better and they have a better, their brain function better than rats in a poor environment. Those rats in the rich environment, they took 22 trials to how to drive a car. Can you believe that? Rats driving cars. So even rats, when they're in the right environment and when they surround themselves with good things, they learned to do the so-called impossible tasks. And compared to those rats in poor environment, no matter how many trials, they haven't learned how to drive the car so far. Even if you're not moving on, you're rebonding in healthier ways. Another thing is do something new. You have to shock your brain in the best possible way. Try painting, cook new recipes, do things with your hands. As I read from somewhere that rather than just looking at your phone, actually doing activities with your hands, it's really good for your brain. Novelty sparks neuroplasticity. Your brain literally forms new pathways when it experiences something unfamiliar. Neuroplasticity is like forming habits. When you get used to these new ways of how to feel, how to think, your brain takes up on these new routes, and that is what is called the neuroplasticity. This reminds me of Marianne from the Normal People series, which is one of my favorites. Her heartbreak becomes catalyst for her emotional growth. She learns to see herself through her own eyes, not her lover's. So heartbreak rewires her identity. It is painful, but it is evolutionary. Then from the rom-com classic 13 Going on 30, Jenner, she was a heartbroken teenage girl and she fast forwards into this adulthood and she learns that love isn't validation and she ends up choosing self-awareness over fantasy. So heartbreak can be a time travel therapy session. You're not destructing yourself, you are reprogramming yourself. And last but not least, romanticize your healing. It's very important to do self-care even when you're not feeling like it. I'm having a bad day. I don't even want to wash my makeup off. I don't even want to eat anything, and I just want to rot in bed and do doom scrolling. But make your morning sounds like you're in a rom-com movie. Make your playlist sound like a movie montage and listen to those like rom-com playlists. You're not performing happiness. You're training your brain to get used to this ordinary dopamine pathways again. We can see that from Rory of Gilmore Girls. Her heartbreaks lead to her career success and independence. The glow up isn't just about who's watching, it's about who you're becoming when no one's watching. And then Andy from The Devil Wears Prada, she breaks up with her boyfriend when her career become her sole focus. She glows up by defining success for herself, not through anyone's approval. Sometimes the glow up is realizing your life can expand beyond expectations. Of course, we cannot forget about Elwood's, the blueprint of a heartbreak glow up. After being dumped by Warner, Jason Warlow, she got into Harvard Law. Her transformation isn't about revenge. It's about realizing her worth. Elwood didn't just change her wardrobe, she literally rewired her whole brain to chasing a new reward system by chasing a new challenge, and she ends up creating her successful life path. Sometimes the glow up is realizing your life can expand beyond who you thought you needed. And from my research, I learned that it is like a prescription of the term called behavior juridical, which I find very interesting. It is how your behavior can become your own medicines, how your brain can become better from your own behavior. So yeah, the glow up isn't just about waking up at 5 a.m. Hot girl walks. They definitely help, but they're not only just about that. It's cellular. It's your biology turning grief into growth. Because heartbreak doesn't destroy you, it rewires you, and that's the science behind becoming someone new. So yeah, the glow up isn't just about looking better, it's about becoming someone stronger. Here's the thing no one tells you, heartbreak is your brain learning. When you lose someone, your mind doesn't just grieve, it starts rewiring your left map too. You learn what felt safe, what didn't, and how to spot red flag faster next time. It's your brain's version of update complete. Painful, yes, but necessary. And it is natural that you feel depressed, and it is totally natural that you feel down, you feel these negative thoughts clouding your brain all the time, because scientifically, human brains produces about 50,000 thoughts a day, and only about 10,000 are positive. And over time, that same dopamine system that once gets you excited about your ex will make you excited about new goals, new projects, and new people. And so if you're feeling like everything is too much, that's okay. You're literally being rebuilt. So if you're listening to this with a heavy heart, breathe. You're not broken, your brain is catching up to this new version of you. And that's what a glow up really is. Not just the makeup, not the revenge body, but the quiet scientific process of becoming someone stronger. It's biology, but it's also beautiful. And thank you so much for listening to my very first ever episode of my podcast, Heart and Heart. Please subscribe to my channel, follow my channel, and I'm also on Spotify. And if you love this episode, make sure to leave a comment, a like, subscribe my channel, and share this video with your friends. And let's see you in my next episode. Let's keep spiraling in a good way. Thank you.